A very warm welcome to all you, my viewers. Welcome to Sentinel's Newsmakers. And my guest this evening is Assam's former Chief Minister, Senior Congress leader, Tarun Gogoi.
Yeah.
Sir, welcome to Sentinel's Newsmakers. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Sir, would like to start by talking about the present COVID situation in the state. You have already said that you have, in fact, termed lockdown as counterproductive. Of course, we have seen the numbers growing. The number of deaths have also gone up. The situation is really grim. So what, in your view, is the alternate? What is the other solution?
The other solution is there. Strict compliance of the COVID protocol. Wearing masks must be made mandatory. Keeping at a social distance, hand washing, and containment in the hotspots area. Strict implication, strict lockdown rules there. So in this case, the government has failed.
Okay.
You see, without by unlocking or by lockdown, it has proved already counterproductive. Not only to check the COVID infections, it also leads to the hardship, sufferings of the vulnerable sections.
Right.
So this lockdown has failed in the two fronts, checking the coronavirus and the economics press or leading to the miseries and hardship of the common man or vulnerable section.
Right. Right. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about politics at this point of time. Of course, Assam elections scheduled for next year. What is the Congress's plans as far as the upcoming Assam elections are concerned? The BJP has already started to make some noise. BJP MLAs, party workers are seen almost everywhere. During the floods, we are seeing most of the MLAs, most of the ministers out there in the, amid all the flood waters, in the paddy fields, trying to help out people. But we have not seen any such thing as far as the Congress party workers are concerned. So what are the party's plans for the upcoming elections?
You see, definitely, you see, they are making a lot of sounds. It is just like a empty vessel sound much.
Okay.
Since they have failed in every front, our main issue will be, they fail to implement all the promises, 100%. Instead of bringing Acha Din, they have brought the worst days, Kharab Din. All sections of people, not only the poorer and downtrodden, I am talking even middle class also, even high middle class also, except the few rich people, maybe 10% of rich people. Most of them are, their conditions are miserable. Economy has gone down like anything. Prices has gone unchecked. Even in checking the COVID, they have miserably failed. They have not been implemented even their own these COVID protocols. So the government has miserably failed in all fronts, even in the floods and relief also. Floods and reliefs, our people are also moving, not that. By put down, lockdown, they are preventing the congressmen. On the other hand, they are moving like anything. Our congressmen are also moving, not that our congressmen are not helping or they are not providing relief to the people also. Naturally, they have got a large number of MLA ministers. They got more publicity because they are in the government. More MLAs are there. MPs are more. Our MPs are also, I know, they are moving. Gaurav is also today. Kodur Bodlo is also there. The other fellow, you see. So all MPs are, all the MLAs are also. Because of my age, of course, I have not gone. Because of my age also. Because they say it is not advisable the older people to go out.
Yeah. So what about the plans as far as the BTC elections are concerned?
BTC election is in doldrum because of the lockdown or the
Yeah,
coronavirus. So BTC is, of course, we don't play a very major role. I do agree.
right.
We don't have a good organizational structure there. So we may win few seats. We are joining hand AIDF. BDP,
Yeah.
BTC election, of course. eh, we don't
Mhm.
expect much that we'll be able to do good results.
Right, right. But going forward, as far as all these elections are concerned, like you just mentioned about AIUDF, so that alliance remains intact for the Assam elections as well. So will we see other, friendships happening as far as the
Defin-
Assam elections are concerned?
Definitely, I am in favor of having a wider alliance, Mahagudbandhan, eh?
Okay.
alliance with all the groups who are against Ka. We are against the divisive policy or communal politics of BJP. Everybody, whether AGP, whether CPI, CPM, PISAC, or the youth, or the new regional party, and AIDF, our doors are open. This is a time we must join hands together to defeat these anti people divisive politics of the BJP party.
Right. Uh, which means, like you mentioned, the doors are open. So are talks already going on, or is the lockdown playing spoil sport?
No, definitely talks has not started,
Okay.
but our doors are open. So definitely, you see, we'll start the process. We have to
Yeah.
start the process. But but we have given the message. Messages are very clear. Message has been
Okay.
given that we are open for alliance with everybody.
So the Congress camp has already reached out to all the political parties, the anti-car political parties, to form an alliance ahead of the elections.
We have not reached out formally, but
Okay.
message we have given, and the response
All,
has been by and large positive.
all right. Okay, but do you think the Assam Congress camp, the flock is together? Because just a few days back, we heard few of your senior leaders like Ajanta Gogoi and Ajanta Nyog and all. There were several media which said that they were ready to jump ship and maybe join BJP.
These are all false propaganda. They are not going. They have made it very clear also, and I have 100% sure they are not going. They are still are the pillars of strength of the Congress.
Do you fear, or is there some kind of a worry that whatever we are seeing in Rajasthan at this point of time, something like that is going to happen in Assam also in the coming days?
You see, I don't think this will happen. Even Gujarat also. You see, I think the Gujarat, it has proved by
You
the
mean
Galot
Rajasthan?
also. Yeah, of
You mean to
Rajasthan
say
also.
Rajasthan? Yes.
Even in Rajasthan also, Galot has proved the majority
Mhm.
congressmen are with him. This the government is stable. He can prove it. That's also he has proved it. So yes, the BJP is trying the level base uh, to poach our MPs or MLAs everywhere. They have got a money power, muscle power. Sometimes they use the CBI, use the ED. So they did everything also. So they are using whether it's a Manipur or even Madhya Pradesh, even in Rajasthan, they've been trying. Yes, they will also try, not that. But here, of course, there is no need to try because the government is there in the government. But now we have to expose them. The dirty tricks they have employed, their practice, how they are destroying the democracy, how they are giving the go by to the anti-defection law. Hmm. They are killing the very democratic spirit also. Hmm. As they are weak, that's why they are posting other MLAs or MPs. Otherwise, there is no need. If they are strong enough, if the people's supports are there, why they are posting in our area? There is no need. Hmm. So instead of going to the people, their whole idea is to how to break the Congress.
Right. So whatever we saw in Manipur, what actually happen there? Because finally it's BJP one more time.
This is definitely when their party in power. We have also seen they have got a little advantage. Wherever, when we were also in power, we had a little advantage also. So now, you see, they had an advantage, but not that they had advantage. They're misusing all the power. They're using the CBI also, ED also, hmm, all income tax department, even the money power. hmm. You see, they go to every every to all extent. That means they have failed to deliver goods to the people. That indirectly confirm that they lost the people's confidence.
Right. Uh, if I go back, take up the Rajasthan example one more time, because we had seen something similar in Madhya Pradesh as well. Now, does not this once again reflect that something is really not right as far as the Congress party is concerned? And in the process, the party has lost some of the very young, dynamic leaders. Sachin Pilot, Jyotiraditya Scindia, some of the very bright, dynamic leaders gone. And also the larger question, which has been repeatedly haunting Congress over the past so many years, that this particular thing, because closer home, I think just last year we saw Mr. Didi Lapang exit Congress in Meghalaya, and the kind of letter, whatever the letter that he wrote, he was very dissatisfied. So something about this larger question of discontent within the Congress, don't you think that it's high time to address all of these things?
Naturally, Congress has to address, but I must tell you that I have seen earlier time also.
Right.
Whenever we are in the opposition, you see a lot of people deserted. Even Indira Gandhi's time also, even Assam also. When we lost also, all the people went to Janta Party. Then we went to came back. Then again they came to this type of thing happens. Even
Okay.
everywhere, in everywhere also. You see, now the BJP also, in spite of that, they lost good. In fact, Madhya Pradesh, but somehow now managed because of by poaching our Congress, by taking the group of the Jyotiraj Scindia. Young men, of course, yes, they are bright young men. But at the same time, these young men should have patience also. They didn't have patience. You see, they have to, their futures are there, but they are so impatient. They want to be the chief minister when they don't have the majority. In a democratic party, how you can impose him if they don't have a majority? Then if you make, if he, India is made a, then say that you are imposing something. Even in Rajasthan, if Gehlot has a vast majority of the support, Sachin didn't have. I have all sympathy for Sachin also. But since you don't have a majority, how the central government can make you uh, chief minister? So that's why I advise him in my tweet also that have patience, don't be emotional, don't run after power. Power will automatically come. But at the same time, we must encourage what you call young people also. But at the same time, young people should also realize that you see their time will come and they don't have a majority. If they have a majority, if they are denied, yes, there is justification for the resentment. But here the coup cases, I don't see any justification for the resentment. Only they have been also given, not that he was given what you call, not only he became an MP, he became a central minister, PCC
Yes.
president, then he became the deputy CM within a very short period. They are the luckiest because they happen to be the sons of the fathers. His
Right.
the father here, social pilot. So same is the case with my son. He's a lucky because he happened to be my son. But in our case, we have come from the grassroots. These young leaders they have not come from the grassroots. Hmm? They have just got an opportunity, just their fathers were in the occupying a prominent place.
So have you been having conversations with your son Gaurav Gogoi after whatever has been happening in Rajasthan Congress and Madhya Pradesh Congress?
No, no, definitely I always advise them, have a patience. You see,
Right.
I know even what you call Gehlot. He started his career from NSUI. That time also, uh, he was, you see, those days, those chief ministers and Sanjay Gandhi opposed him also. I protected him. I encouraged him also. Same is the case, youngster. I gave a lot of encouragement to Digvijay Singh also. That time he was a nobody. We are also encouraging. And this is Digvijay, they had a majority, so he became the chief minister. Even Kamal Nath, he was a senior to what
Right.
you call senior to Digvijay, but he could be a chief minister just after so many years after Digvijay. Yes, seniority, juniority doesn't count. Yes, seniority along with his support, even a junior also, if he has a majority of the support, yes, he deserved the post.
Coming back to Assam politics now, what do you think are going to be the major, agenda issues this time round during the elections?
You see, they've got all sorts of. They fail economic front, even social harmony, whether in agriculture, whether in a flood, whether uh, even pandemic also, even health sector, even your infrastructure, roads also, rural development, women's safety. You see, which fund they could claim credit.
And these are some of the areas that the Congress is going to focus on in the elections
Yeah,
this time.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Unemployment. These are the major
Right.
issues. Youngsters, they are frustrating. They're leading a most miserable. Instead of creating jobs, today crores jobs are losing. People are losing their livelihoods. Their lives are in a very, very miserable condition. I- the way the things are moving, the death from the hunger will be much more than the death from the pandemic.
Right. Is the Congress doing something at this point of time to help the migrant workers who have returned home, the people who have lost job, and also the flood affected people at this point of time?
The flood affected people, we are doing it. You see, for all this, but for this employment for the migrant labor, it is the government has to do it. We can't. What help I can give it? Congress. You see, we can't help it unless we are in the government. But
Right.
government has failed to give to the migrant labor. That's why the migrant labor who came to Assam also, now they have again decided to go back. Since the state government, though they made big assurances, big promises, but miserably failed to give any jobs, any other opportunities. So you see what alternatives they have got. They don't have an alternative except to go to the places where from they came. If they get a chance to rejoin their old jobs.
Right. Yes. Yes. You have also been very vocal about the release of Akhil Gogoi. What do you have to say about the treatment that has been meted out to the KMSS leader?
You see, definitely they did a lot of negligence. Government is responsible, though he was suffering for a long, didn't take care of it. Only there his lawyer had to go to NIA court. NIA court has to pass an order asking them to provide a proper treatment. So that is a condition, that is a treatment meted out to Akhil Gogoi just because he was against the car. During my tenure also, he was all along, you see, fighting against me. He was with the BJP those days. In fact, he asked even to vote for BJP. But we didn't go to that extent. We don't declare him as a enemy of the country. We don't we don't consider him a national security. You see, now he has been falsely implicated in a case. eh. The case is not. It is during our tenure case. eh. He might have some connected, but he didn't indulge any sorts of violence, causing a threat to the India's security. So to put him under NIA on national security, it is nothing but a political vendetta or deprive his fundamental right of free speech or the right to assemble or criticize the government.
All right. And finally, would want to hear from you. What would be your message to all those people within the all those party workers, party leaders within the Congress party who might be thinking of jumping ship closer to the elections?
You see, definitely will appeal our people, not only will we see, have some faith. Eh? Don't be, if you have a faith in your ideology, if you want to serve the people of Assam, particularly poor, downtrodden, middle class, there is only one party, that is a Congress. Whatever the development has taken place in Assam, it is during our tenure. Compare our 15 years rule and compare your 5 years rule also. Whether situation has improved in Sonowal times or situation has deteriorated like anything. It is a deteriorating like, it is a, the situation is far, far worse than what at the time we left the, the government to the BJP.
All right. Okay, on that note, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you have to go for another interview, therefore,
Thank
otherwise I would have loved to, uh, get few more questions across to you. But maybe the next time. Thank you so much for joining me, and
thank
thank you viewers for watching. Thank you, sir. Thank you.